Morning guys, welcome to the channel. We've just got the boards down here behind me, and just there we're getting some sewage cake in. Next to it, just there, we got a digestate, and all the way over there we got some wood chip fines. So we're going to make a nice blend of this, and just before we plant the maize, all our maize ground over here, about 120 acres odd, is going to get lots and lots of lovely cake on it. I did it last year for the first time, and we're going to do it again this year and just really try and build up all that organic matter in the soil. I didn't think it had a great effect last year, but with that drought happening, it's just really hard to see it if it had a positive effect. But I've got a feeling that if we keep doing it year after year, 10 years time, we're going to find those organic matters in the soil much higher. Anyway, that's the plan. Not sure it's going to make me very popular with the locals though. Okay guys, so we're just here in a little spinney next to the AD plant, which is up there, and this spinney here was planted about 30-40 years ago by my father. It's got a lot of ash and some elm in there. We've got permission to thin, but when we're looking through it, actually a lot of these trees have the dieback on them. So I'm probably going to go back to Andrew at the Forestry Commission and get permission to fell all of this. There's been some nice timber come out, but we'll probably get a bit more for the wood yard, and we're just using the dumps and the grapple on the digger there just to forward all this timber out. You see it's quite nice sticks there, so yeah, more wood, important. Okay, so just up at the top bit of the farm here, now you've got the road comes into the village. There's a couple of real dead trees here that are leaning over, so we got grab the cedar just up the top there, taking these guys down, and I'll come a little bit later with the telehandler and push it. They're absolutely dead beech, so they're going to come down sooner or later, and hopefully we don't want them coming down to a car. That's quite an effective way of taking that down. Right, we're just by the kiln here, and this is my return loop. I was wondering if it's working, but it must be, because there's a fair degree of water in there, and that must be coming off the logs. So I was slightly sceptical whether it did much good, but actually I think it is. There is some recirculation happening there, and I mean you can just see, how much moisture needs to come off logs. Right, so just working through all these stacks of logs, we've got about 75 tons over there, and we're just putting them into 4-way and 6-way splits. We're in 6-way here, but what we're going to be doing with our japper with blades is just using the 4-way split, because actually what we're finding is that the 6-way split just breaks on the japper, and it just hasn't got enough strength in the steel to keep the 6-way going. It just bends it. So we're going to wait until we get our new saw coming over, which hopefully will process a lot of these bigger pieces. It's got a 20-ton press on it. It's the Uniforest, and we'll just use the japper for the smaller stuff basically. So you can see on his bench what he's got there. It's quite thin stuff. So we've just got a couple of loads of digestate bags ordered. We've got one up there cooking away, and another one down here. We'll just scrape up those bits on the floor and make them sure they're topped up. We've got the dump trailer on. We've got to go right down to our site with the 21 and clear up the remaining rubble there. It seems never ending, our rubble clearing. Okay, so we're just coming back in from our new build site with some of the stone that's been knocked down from an internal wall, and we're just going to put it out here, find our new shed, spread that out just a bit more hardcore. So just going to spread it out here, add it to all the other stone that we've got, adding to the space of hardcore. There's some nice tiles in that, I just didn't figure we'd ever use them. That's it. Right, we'll go back, finish off the rest. We've got the dump trailer there. Got another electric line crossing the street, so I just want to be careful how it operates. It's just there on the shovel, sliding up. They're saying it needs a dust mask. It's that bad. Not bad actually. We've got a tree here as well. Got all their nice shit out there. So don't want to use that. Rubble. Getting there, aren't we? So that's all that little bit of rubble cleaned up, which is good. I've still got the building supplies, a little bit of muck up there that we're going to just clear up, come back with the mini digger. But otherwise, I think we're done. I'll have to come back over with the shovel because my tyres are pretty mucky. There we go. So we're slowly stacking up. Hopefully you can see the difference, 6 to 4 way. And we'll just do this on the Japper, and when the circular saw comes it can do that work. We've also got the Stobart lorry in as well. We've got a fair pile still to get through and sort out. And we've got another load coming in this evening or first thing tomorrow morning. So just when Dave thinks he's finished it, we'll get another load coming in. So we're just on our new little small shed here. I had about 6 loads, so about 150 tons come in here, and we pushed it all up. And just over the course of the 3 months or so, it's basically sort of just drying itself off naturally. Still, yes, that's not too bad. The stuff at the bottom, you see there's a really wet layer at the top there. So we're just moving some up to the top shed and just getting a bit of air through it up there. It's a bit more of a windy site, and it just tends to dry things out a little bit quicker, and we can blend that in with our existing chip. So there it is in our top shed. wet stuff. You can see the difference with the other stuff there, real colour difference, and yeah, that just goes to show the wetness there, but that will blend in because this stuff's very, very dry, sub 20. Right, we're back in the AD plant now. It's been running really well for the last couple of days. We've got back onto full gas. I'll just show you the trend line here so you can see what's going on. This green line here is the water temperature. It went down there because we had a service yesterday on the engine, the boiler kicked in. But you can see it's a nice sawtooth line. That's the boiler kicking in and out just to keep the temperature nice. This red line here is the gas holders. We've got 100% gas. That's the digester temperature, nice and even. That's the combi bag, the sawtooth line as the pressure goes up and the gas comes on. So everything's working as it should. Both engines at full power. So that's really nice to see. The new gas bag down the end is also full. Yeah, that's. I can actually sort of slightly reduce the feeding back today, so I know the thing is working quite well. Okay, my least favourite job. I'm back here at the digger. It's been down in the quarry. It just absolutely gets covered in clayey muck. So I'm going to have to dig them out. I've dug out the other side there. You see it's nice and clean. But this side is still good and thick with muck. So there we go. Next job. So I cleared a fair amount of muck out of there. But I've got to swing the digger because I just can't get this last bit on the ends. Both ends are just blocked. So I'll swing it around. So there we are. One nice clean digger. Tracked. And there's all the muck that comes off. Fairly good amount really. Anyway, we can get on with the next project, which I'll just show you about. A few grazed knuckles, as always, digging out those tracks. Always seems to knock a bit of metal somewhere. So my plan is to bring the digestate tankers through here and into this field up here. Normally we've got to do a U, which is adds an extra kilometre to the journey, but if I can just cut across that, I can come straight across here. But this is the old mining ditch which they had on either side of the quarry to keep the water out of the quarry, so it's quite deep. I'll have to dig it out down there, put some pipe in there, cut down some of these trees just so we can get across nice and easy. So I'll have to get the tree shears on for that and then fill it back in with material. It's quite a bank, but I think it'll be good, just saving time on the digestate carting really. Okay, so I've got the shears on. I've got them set up with that little shear button there. It's got a little shear one down here. I've got the foot pedal there. So that should open and close it. I think we're ready to roll. Right, so I'm going to take this one nice and high and we'll see where we go. No, she's not having that. Let's get up a little bit closer, see if I can take it again. Okay, gone up a bit higher. Right, it's had a bit of it, but not much. Okay, I'll get on with this and see how it looks in a few minutes. Okay, so I cut these into lengths for the firewood machine. Take the tops off, trim them up with the chainsaw. One crash there. And I've got a nice gap through here where I could put my culvert through. So yeah, need to go get the digger bucket to scrape out. And I'll take the shears off now and take them back home again. Nice little half an hour bit of work there. So I've just got the ditching bucket on. I'm just going to clear out the ditch now. We'll make a nice smooth run down there for the pipe, and yeah, then I'll be able to start filling in again. So I've just dug out a little bit of base there, and I'll put the pipe down under here. It has to be quite a long one. As you can see, it's quite a high bank that I'm sitting in here. And the sides will have to be battened at 45 degrees. So I'll do my calcs, but it's about 2 meters up there. So I'll have to, if I want it 4 meters wide, I'll have to have 8 meters long, the pipe. So yeah, a fair amount of material needs to go in there. So I've got a couple of pipes. These are both 3 meters long. I'll go back to the yard, get a couple more and a couple of joiners for them. Meantime, we've got another green haul truck in, so we're just loading that. Got a Stobart truck in later as well. So yeah, the wood chip seems to be quite busy at the moment. This is my little yard where I store my pipes. I got all these for free. I went over with a big tractor and trailer and just scooped them up when they were, someone didn't want any of these, so I just came through and grabbed them. But we're starting to run a bit low now. Anyway, it's good. So there we are. I've stuffed slightly smaller ones inside slightly bigger ones, so I haven't got the collar, but there's not much water that comes through here, so I'm just a little trickle in the real wet season. So I think that should be okay, and we can start filling this hole now. So I should just here for red giant, and we've got our reconditioned Biogas tank pump on there. So yeah, just roll forward and pick it up. So there it is, going into the shed. That's the mixing pump that we have at the back of the tank that creates the slurry along with the maize, so that we can have a nice mix of this maize. So that's good to have that back and have a spare. So these are all the piles we're sorting out. They're coming out nicely. We had another load last night. Dave's just got to work through this stuff here, but unfortunately we had a breakage on the pipe, and so all the hydraulic oils come off there. So we're going to have to go back out to Corby Hose and get that mended then. Oh, I see, it's off this one here, that one going into there. That's funny, I think that was put in the other day. Must have hit something. Right, so I'm just back down on my quarry. After cleaning out the tracks, I decided to come back down, but I'm going to try and use this shaly kind of gravelly stroke clay product that we've riddled out. We've got the dump truck there, so I'm going to load that up and just try and bed the pipes in with this material here. Right, so I tipped some of it here, but a fair chunk went down. It's just moved the pipe out there, so I'm going to have to try and scoop that out and put some on the other side, and then I can then bed it in nicely, and at that point then I can just start tipping more loads on top once it's secure. So yeah, that's going to be my little job now. So there's that pipe. It just needs a bit of careful bedding in now, so if I can be a bit gentle I might get that nicely in. So we'll just have a little go at that with this load. Right, so I just bedded that pipe in with the load and straightened it out, and yeah, probably need about 20 loads in here to get that level brought up. Obviously get a few more out of the quarry, got about 3 or 4 there, and then I'll probably try and pull that bank in across there. Just take it nice level pitch. Okay, we're doing more stacking and grading today. Quite a few loads in. You can see it's starting to form up quite a bit in the yard. These ones here, they've got to go up the top because they're going to wait for our new saw to come. They're just a bit more chunky, and we're just trying to grade out everything into what our gaffer will do versus what the new Uniforest will do. And then we got Tim there, who's just been doing a bit more thinning on one of the spinnies around, and he's bringing in loads as well. So yeah, we're trying to just stack up for next winter, let's put it that way. Right, just putting a second load in now. So we'll just tip this up. You can see through there. Coming out back there. Maybe get one more and then bring the digger up. This was some of the stuff I saved, which was kind of a top layer of stone before we got to our real hard stuff in the quarry. I'm just filling up the dump truck here, so it came from all the way back there where I was riddling out the hard big lumps of the crusher. This is the stuff on top, so I think it's good. It'll bed that in quite nicely and go hard with all the clay and stone in it. So there we are, that's a couple of loads there. I suppose probably close to 50 tons or something. You can just see there's plenty of stone in there, a fair amount of clay too. But I'll spread that all out, and then hopefully it'll go hard as I track it in, and we'll get a few more loads in because we've got a fair bank to go. But we'll get in there now. Yeah, at the moment it's a bit like wet concrete under my feet, but didn't really hold the digger very well. As I tracked across it, it all sort of moved. But I have a feeling that if I leave that, the water will come out of it and it'll start to harden up, and I can put another load on top of it. So I'll do that. I'll just hopefully we get a bit of dry weather and that just firms up a bit over time, and we can put another load back. Well, it will need a good few loads to take it up, but yeah, we're getting there. So the woodshed is looking pretty low at the moment. Haven't got much left. Got this, it's about maybe 6-7 loads in there, but we'll try and get a few more loads in and go from there. Meantime, we're just trying to restack. We had more material coming in and we need more space, so we're just pulling out the really big stuff again. Ray's taking it up the top with the telehandler, and we're going to stack it on bearers like we did the oak up there. So that will alleviate a little bit of our space problems here. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed that vid then, and yeah, we'll see you next time for more fun and games.